What's happening, everybody? It is time for a special Wednesday night edition of Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. I'm your one host, Vegas Jay, and as always with me is...
Philly Nay. Hi, everybody.
What's happening, Nadine?
Oh, not much. Busy week so far.
Tonight our special guest is actually pretty much your neighbor, Nadine.
I know. He lives very close to me, yes.
Our special guest tonight is Joe DeMarco, otherwise known as Hubcap Joe.
Evening, everybody.
What's happening, Joe? How are you?
Thanks for having me on your show, Jason and Nadine. It's a pleasure to be here.
Cool. I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk hubcaps. We're going to talk niche. We're going to talk echo.
Yes.
Work its way out. We're going to say goodbye to Joe for a little bit, and we'll see you in a little bit, Joe. All right. Let me get over here. Get this. Ba-ba. And Joe is muted.
And your echo is gone for now?
Well, I'm trying to... Joe won't go away. There it is. There we go. Joe is like magic. Like, he just wouldn't go away. Woo! All right, let's get right into it as we always do at the top of the show. Time for Jay's Tiki Talk, where each week I drink out of a different tiki mug, have a different rum, and I always try and pair at least one, if not both, with our guest. And Joe is from New Jersey, and I happen to have a New Jersey tiki mug. There's not a lot of New Jersey tiki mugs, but I do have one. So this is from the her distinct features get kind of blown out, but this is from the Geisha Room, and that was in the Hawaiian Cottage and Mercantville, if I can say it right, New Jersey.
Okay.
And they only had 3 mugs. They had 2 geisha ones and a parrot. So if you find them, they're kind of rarish. You know, they're not like holy grails, but they're definitely worth like $30, $35, $40. So, and I just poured the drink in there, Nay. It is one of the deepest, biggest mugs I have in my whole collection. Like, they poured a lot of booze in this drink back in the day. Like, I just kept pouring. I'm like, holy shit.
So you know I found a couple of those. Mine were Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Yep.
So I guess that's a... And I have one. I still have one to list. Yes.
And then, funny about this rum, there we go. Platiné Grand Reserve, Premium Estate Caribbean rum. So I'm always looking for a rum to either match our guest or something I haven't drank. And I have rum racks all over my house. Those of you who've been here know that.
Yes.
This was on a bottom rack. I pulled it out. It was still sealed. I have no I don't know this rum. I have no recollection of buying this rum. I have no recollection of getting it as a gift. So it's just rum shows up magically in my house.
Okay.
And I guess that tells me I have too much rum because I'm like, where'd this rum come from?
Wow.
And what are you drinking this evening?
I am enjoying a glass of wine tonight, which...
I don't see a lid on that.
No, it's a glass. It's a glass. Yes.
I fear a breakage.
I'm hoping not. I'm going to be
all right. As soon as we get done with our shenanigans, we get to something serious. It is time for Nay's breast cancer update and fact of the week.
Mm-hmm. I am doing okay. I do have to get moving on some tests that I've kind of been putting off. I am, you get to a point where you go to so many doctor's appointments that it just becomes like a career, and it's just exhausting. So I am still doing what I need to do, but I do need to get moving on some tests and whatnot. And I am going in the hospital for my neck surgery on June 7th, which is coming up soon. So... woohoo, that'll be fun. But I know.
That was the worst woohoo I've ever heard in my life.
I know. That's how enthusiastic. But I am making progress with each surgery. I know I have several more surgeries ahead of me, and it is what it is. So as I get through each, I am making more progress. So, and I do have the other thing is, one little thing. I got a haircut this week, thanks to my friend Cindy. One of her friends comes over to her house and does it, so thank you, Cindy. But my hairline, if you guys can see, is receding now all around the perimeter, so I've had to do something to kind of mask that. But you know what? I still have my hair. I'm lucky. It's just thinning out. I won't lose it all, but that has been something that's been really happening. Just around the whole edge, I'm kind of bald behind my ears, the back of my hair, so it's like all around here. But really not that big of a deal because I know, you know, if I had the intravenous chemo instead of the pill, I'd be completely involved. So, and this is just an early detection and preventative measures graphic, and they say that you should get an annual mammogram from age 40, and I want to put an asterisk to that. If you are like me and you're under 40 and have a family history or any reason to think that you might have something wrong, go to your doctor and get checked if you're under 40. It doesn't matter. And also men too, because men can get breast cancer as well. Avoid pollution such as car exhaust. That's kind of hard to do. You know, we live in a world where there's a lot of chemicals, but you know, do limit your hazardous chemicals. Limit that stuff as much as you can, but live your life. Maintain a healthy weight. That is true actually with my type of cancer, my type of hormonal cancer. Fat does produce estrogen, and estrogen is what my cancer uses as its food. So in my case, that is true, and I've lost a lot of weight, not by trying, just from having cancer and being on my drug and not being able to eat and all. So my oncologist is happy that I've lost weight because of that reason. So, but at the same time, you know, it's not the best weight loss plan. And limit alcohol to 10 servings a
day. I hate this plan.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no. Don't listen to that. To 1 serving a day. Yes, you can still have some alcohol.
Just one big serving.
I know some of my meds, you know, they do, you know, they say, oh, don't have, but my oncologist says, have a glass of wine once in a while, enjoy your life. But yes, if you have 10 servings a day, that could contribute to your chances of breast cancer. But again, you don't know, so.
That was awesome.
No, that was a faux pas there.
All righty, let's get into it. Our scores of the week, brought to you by WorthPoint. All right, I had some fun scores here, so let's bring them up real quick. Are these our scores? Yeah, all right. So I think I teased it somewhere in the thrifting board today, so in case you might have seen it, but I bought a shirt, which you probably saw. If you watch my Periscopes, you saw this shirt from New York City. I bought it when I was in New York City, and I paid $30 for this shirt. And most people wouldn't pay $30 for a used shirt, but I did. Now, it didn't sell for $134. It sold for $100. I probably could have got more, but I got these great offers yesterday, and I didn't have many sales yesterday. So to flip a $100 shirt, I was happy to take it. This shirt is badass, and I'll show you why if you didn't see the original Periscope. Let me make it bigger. So it has this little fake halfy belt in the front. It's got 4 pockets, 2 upper, 2 lower to make a cabana. It's got this bitchin' collar. Look how long that collar is.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's cool.
It's got the epaulettes on top. I mean, it's just the Mac Daddy shirt.
Is it polyester?
Yep. And it's got the little button to hold and a full zipper, and it had tikis on it. So, I mean, these are the days I wish I was a normal-sized man.
I know.
Because that shirt is the most awesome shirt I think I've ever sold.
That is a cool shirt.
I could have held out for more, but, you know, $30 to $100, and it was quick. We only got this listed last week. So, you know, sometimes you take that fast nickel because you had a bad day.
Your pictures really pop, too. Your lighting is great.
Thank you. Yeah, we got good lighting. I got my lighting all dialed in. Now, this one was a little tricky to take a picture of. This is Dragonfly. If you don't know Dragonfly, they're a great company that makes some cool rock and roll shirts. I picked up 2 Devo shirts with my mom, actually, for $5 each. Excuse me. These are actually 2 shirts built into one. So it wasn't an actual 2 shirts. It's 1 shirt. So it's got like the Henley built in underneath to the T-shirt or polo shirt there. But this was Devo. It sold quick. It sold within a day of getting listed for $39.99. And I guess I did all shirts today. This was for listed for a long time. It's a Kuji shirt called Kings of Color. It was a just badass shirt. Sat in my store for quite a while, and then I got, and it was my size too. I should have kept it probably, but I got an offer. I was asking $49.99. I got an offer of $50, and it was going to Russia. So, Kuji Kings of Color is off to Mother Russia.
Cool. All right, so this is I've had this listed for a while, but it is a score because this was one of my maternity dresses that I had hanging around. I cleaned out my closets and I found it. And it was from my son is 3 now, so it's been a while. But I mean, basically, you know, I used it, so I got my use out of it, so it was pretty much free, and $24.99 free shipping, and it went poly flat rate, so not bad, you know, for something that I essentially got for free and got my own use out of.
And then your next score actually hasn't sold yet, but you're going to explain why it is a score.
Well, yes, and
with the help of your partner.
Okay. Yes. So, okay. So these are, I have them in hand here. These are awful things. They are, yeah. And I had to try them on because the worst part was I actually had to put these things on me because I didn't know the size, and I know what size I am.
Well,
so
explain what it is, because I'm sure we have viewers that have no clue what the hell you're showing.
This is Miley Cyrus sucking on an ice cream cone. Yes, it's a lot. These are the ugliest, most horrid things I've ever seen. So I was at Goodwill this weekend. I was on my way to my storage unit, and I stopped there really quick. I try to get material for the show. I don't thrift a lot these days, but I saw these and I took a picture of them, and Jay was like, "Go back and get them," and I was like, "What? Are you kidding me? These are the ugliest things. Why would I want to buy these? Like, why would anyone want to buy these?" Well, sure enough, so they were on the rack that had just been put out. So the Goodwill employees they were gone. So I thought somebody had either taken them or found them in the pajama section. I grabbed them and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll buy them. So yeah, so it turns out that these are actually a rare exclusive item from one of her 2014 tours called the Bangers Tour.
That was the name of her album, yep.
That was, yes, and they're actually really sought out and rare leggings. Someone has a pair listed for $200, which is a little ambitious, but I do think they're going to sell because I have the only pre-owned pair, and these are rarely. I don't even think they've been worn really. They're in really good condition.
Other than by you to see what size they were.
Yes, and they are size. I've determined they are size small. So yeah, I did have to put these things on for. Yes, that was hard. But so they're listed. I listed them today at one. Do you have my listing? I gave you a link.
Yeah, I already showed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I listed them at I think 110 with best offer because the ones that they were calling new were like 125 and 200. So we'll see. I think this is going to be a good score though.
And look at that, tiny, easy to ship. That's even the best part.
And thank you, Jay, because I would have.
Oh, you're welcome.
Suckers, I would have passed up there.
Now to be honest, so people don't think I know all. I just thought they were awesome. And I'm like, I'll get them. They're a couple bucks, and then we found out that they're sought after. Mm-hmm. They weren't sold in stores. So very, very cool.
Yeah. So I'll keep you guys updated on that one.
All right, we've had our scores. Now it's time for. Our duds of the week. Let our mistakes not be yours. And Nay, you're gonna gasp when you see my one dud.
Oh no.
I have patience, and sometimes patience to a fault when it comes to my listings. So here we go. So I got an offer for this the other day for $10, and I was like, oh shit, that's in a tub in the garage on the way to the thrift store to redonate. I didn't realize it was still listed. I had pulled stuff I was getting rid of.
Well, it's good it didn't go to the thrift store.
Right, and luckily I had just seen it because I would have been tearing my office apart. But I sold it for $10, and it was listed for exactly 1 year. I listed it May 20th, 2015.
Wow.
I only paid $1.50. So, but Build-A-Bear stuff, accessories, clothing usually does quite well. This was not a big deal. But more, the one that's going to shock everyone. This is a very cool Jack Daniels cowboy shirt.
That's pretty cool.
I listed it October 31st, 2013. 2.5 years ago. And I finally got an offer of $25, and I was happy to take it. I only paid $5, but I should not have had it listed for 2.5 years.
Yep, I've got those in my store, too.
That was a huge, huge mistake. And then my last one, Esquivel, and I would like to see in the chat, does anyone know who Esquivel is? Because he's one of my all-time favorite artists, but he's hardly known. He was a piano player. He did what's called exotica, space-age pop, bachelor pad music. Some of his CDs kind of fluctuate in price. This one I thought was still a hot commodity. I paid $5. I sold for $6.50. Burr, burr, burr.
Yeah, that wasn't worth it.
But let me know. Does anybody know Esquivel? Does anyone know Esquivel?
I've heard of him. I'll give you that. That's all. All
right.
So, this was a dud. It was these little kits just sat forever, and $9.80 with free shipping. It just becomes kind of not worth it. However, they do ship. It's like 3 ounces to ship one of those little kits. So, I think I paid. In a big lot, I paid cents for it. So in that sense, it's not too bad, but really to sit for that long in my store and to sell for that, not really worth it.
Oops.
And I thought these were awesome. They were 70s denim embroidery transfers, and I thought they were really cute, and I thought they would sell for more. I ended up dropping the price because they just sat. And somebody paid $8.99 with free shipping this week, and I was just like, okay. So.
You're just like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And apparently, no one but me knows Esquivel, so I'm the weird bird.
I have heard the name. That's all
I will play you some Esquivel next week.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, we've done our scores, we've done our duds. Now it is time for. Close Encounters of the Thrifty kind. I'll let you go first because I got to set up a couple pictures. Oh, I have.
Yeah,
you too.
I have a picture.
All right, you start.
Okay, my Thrifty encounter this week has to do with these purple Uggs.
Oops, I'm setting up the wrong picture. Okay, keep going.
So these beautiful purple Uggs, and they are authentic Uggs. And at that stop at the Goodwill, I paid $5.99 for authentic Uggs that will sell for. These will actually sell this style because they're knit. They're not like the the lace-up leather ones. They'll sell for about $40, but for a $5.99 investment, that's really not bad. So my Thrifty encounter has 2 parts. One part is that I used my awesome friends on the thrifting board who I knew. Right away I knew that they would know if these were authentic or not. I had a couple questions, and my friend Joy, my friend Bridget, they were really helpful. Like with things like, does the sole flex? Yes. Is there? And then I had to look at the tags on the inside. They wanted to see the tags on the inside. The tags were right. The back tags were right. The soles were right. And they feel like good quality. I have another pair of authentic Uggs that a friend gave me and these feel comparable to that. So I had a good feeling that they might be authentic, but I really needed to verify it before I, wasted $5.99. Actually, they were marked $8.99. I got them for $5.99. But before I wasted that on a pair of fake Uggs, but they are authentic. I can list them, and so if I didn't have my help from my friends, and that was my Thrifty encounter, while I was in the store, I was messaging them, and they were like, well, see this, see that, and they determined that, yes, they are definitely authentic, that I was right. So I go to the register, and the girl starts ringing me up, one of my friends at the Goodwill there, and I realize that I am missing an Ugg. There's just one missing. So I'm one of those people that everybody gets mad at. I hold up the whole line. I'm like, well, what do I do? Because she already rang me up.
Excuse me, pardon me. I have to go find an Ugg.
She already rang me up, and I'm panicking at this point. I'm thinking, is somebody just going to pick up one random Ugg and think that they can sell it or whatever? And did somebody steal my other Ugg? So I went back. I went all through the store. I'm like running through the store trying to find it. She did take it to the next customer, thankfully. I was all worried. I was holding up the line the whole time. So I found them randomly. I found the other Ugg laying in the game section. I had dropped it on a shelf in the game section. I was looking at so picked up the other Ugg, brought it to the register, and so anyway, that was my little multiple parts.
Between you breaking things.
I know, losing things. But I got an awesome pair of authentic Uggs, and I have to list them this week. They're pretty cool.
All right, so my Thrifty encounter has to do with the big gay quilt I bought. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you're not in the thrifting board, our Facebook group, so come on over and join us. So I bought this bitchin' handmade quilt the other day, and I was at a garage sale, and looking around, and I found this quilt, and I said, how much? And the guy's like, man, I got to check with my wife because she's the one who's selling it, and she's getting us breakfast right now. So he calls the wife. Now, while he's dialing, they got 2 kids, and the kids are like 5 and 7. The one kid's going, "Tell Mom I want an Egg McMuffin." And the other kid's going to me, "I'll sell it to you for $5." And he was like 6 years old.
Oh,
6 years old. So he gets the wife on the phone, and he says, "Hey, honey, somebody wants to buy the quilt. How much?" And she goes, "Man, I can hear her too." She goes, "I can't go less than $10. If not, I'll just keep it." And the kid's still going, $5, dude, $5. And I'm like, "Well, I like your son's $5." And she goes, "If he's not paying 10, he's not getting it." I'm like, "I'm kidding. I'll give you the $10. I'm serious." And the kid's still going, $5, dude, $5.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, oh, this was so great, because this garage sale, this is also my Thrifty, or no, the last segment of it today works in too. So this one garage sale was perfect. I loved it. I should have given that kid $5 and just ran away.
That is an awesome quilt.
Yeah. So those of you down in the group, we discussed that quilt ad nauseum at this point, really. But my $10 investment will yield me a few $100s. So do not be afraid of quilts.
Yeah.
All right, now it is time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Nadine, let me get your pictures up, and we'll get you going.
Okay.
Ooh, what did I just do?
I don't know what you just did. That's one of my pictures.
Yeah, it sure is.
There's a second picture.
Yeah, there it comes.
Okay. So this is also going to be probably one of my future thrifty encounters, because I had an interesting conversation with the woman in the Marlboro jacket and the man on the left with the ponytail. However, they are my thrifty tip this week, because on Sundays at my local Goodwill, they have now Dollar Day Sundays, where anything with these tag colors is $1. And let me tell you, you can find stuff. Even I went there like in the middle of the, it was like the middle of the day. You can still find stuff that has the tag called, like, awesome stuff. One of my finds was a vintage purse that was marked $9.99, and there are a couple other things that that I found that were really, they'll sell for. There's some Harry Potter stuff, and all for $1. So, but it's crazy in there. It is crazy. And it concerns me that they're gonna maybe stop it because of the craziness, but I'll save that for my thrifty encounter, because there was a crazy incident in there. But anyway, so the gentleman with the ponytail, who I shot from behind there, so you can't see his face, he is a thrifter like us. He's a reseller, and if you are standing in a long line at a sale, one of these sales, just kind of listen to the people around you. Just kind of listen to their conversations, and if they have some good stuff to say, kind of talk to them a little bit. So I talked to the guy in front of me, and he was talking to the woman with the Marlboro jacket about other thrift stores in our area and the sales that they have. And there is one thrift store that I was not aware of that's up in North Philly, where I don't usually frequent, and they have 50-cent sale days. And I didn't know this, so I found out from this guy. So
wow, 50 cents.
50 cents, yes. So yeah, so he was like, "Oh yeah, you think this is a good sale? Like, you should see it on 50-cent day at the thrift store that he was talking about." So listen to them. You might have some resellers around you. Talk to the people in line, and they might be able to give you some tips and kind of. So I didn't know about that sale, and now I'm going to be looking into that and going to that store in North Philly.
So I feel like, I feel like I'm losing my mind because I couldn't think of my thrifty tip, and then I saw my picture. I know my thrifty tip is now. So my thrifty tip kind of goes along with what Nate was saying about her Uggs. Use the people in your Rolodex when you run across something you don't know. Now, this is a perfect example, because we're talking about niches tonight. Hubcap Joe sells hubcaps and other things, but his niche is hubcaps. My niche is tiki mugs and CDs and records. One of Nate's niches is yarn. So I'm at this garage sale, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of yarn.
And you leave.
Wait, don't ruin the story. This is my turn.
Right. Okay, go on.
Like I have another wife. Don't jump ahead. So I take this picture of this craziness. I send it to Nay, and they don't have much else in this garage sale, so we're done. We're waiting. I don't hear back from Nay. I'm like, all right, so we move on because we had other things to do. I'm at a gas station getting something to drink, and Nay's like, oh, I see a lot of good stuff in there. I'm like, I already left. And she goes, left? You only sent it to me 6 minutes ago. I'm like, you didn't answer. So we backtracked. We found the garage sale because we just happened to stumble across it. And what I did was, and here's the tip, if you have someone in your Rolodex that knows their shit about something specific, in this case yarn, FaceTime them, pop your earpiece in, and just kind of, I walked over it, and I'm reading the labels, and she's like, grab that, pass that, grab that, pass that. So that's your tip. That is modern thrifting. FaceTime your expert, and then they'll help you get through it.
Yeah, I was pretty much helping Jason thrift at the garage sale in Vegas, and he got some awesome yarn. Yep.
Yes, I did, and I will share more about that later because I got, is it Skeins, whatever it is. I got like 90 for $43. So
you did excellent, and some of those are really gonna sell well. So.
Yeah. All right, now it is time for. You have got to be shipping me, where Nay and I give you shipping tips. I usually share what not to do, and Nay shares what to do. And so mine is kind of a combo: what not to do, what to do. All right, so I would prefer everybody ships internationally, but if you don't, and you're starting, and you're baby stepping it, baby steps, don't just limit it to the lower 48. And here's why. You're not only cutting out Hawaii and Alaska, you're cutting out the U.S. Virgin Islands, you're cutting out Puerto Rico, which is really the 51st state, you're cutting out American Samoa, which is way deep in the Pacific, and you're cutting out Guam. And I sold a pair of Silver Tab jeans to Guam this week, and I used a padded flat rate envelope. So if you look down the little things down below, this right here, and if you're a top rated seller, for $5.90, I have over 2 pounds of denim traveling 6,215 miles for only $5.90. So if your items fit into priority mail flat rates or regional rates, do not exclude. Now look, I want you to ship worldwide, but if you're baby stepping it, do everything the United States is. So it's protectorates, it's territories, do it all. Because there are people in Guam who need Silver Tab pleated jeans. I'm telling you.
Very cool.
All right, your tip.
Yeah, my tip is these are just manila envelopes. You can get like a pack of 100 of them. They last forever, and they're like, I don't know how much I paid for this pack of 100, but it was less than $20. They're just paper. So I saw a lot of sewing patterns, and these are light. They're lightweight. You can just stick the sewing. Now, with the better sewing patterns, usually I will put them in a plastic bag just to make sure that they are waterproof, because these are not waterproof. But really, you can just, this way, this way, horizontally, and then I will fold over like one time, which gives it some rigidity. It gives it a little bit of almost like a cardboard support. And then you can just tape it and stick your label on there, and it's the perfect size, and it does actually, it looks like a flimsy envelope, but it's really not. It really does, support the pattern, so it doesn't bend. So
I love that tip. Love it. All right, now it is time for our viewers' 2-minute topic of the week. And this week, our topic is sent in by our viewer, Travis. Shoot, I have no idea how Travis is pronounced.
And he is the boyfriend of our lifeguard, Pam McAllister.
Wait, how do you say his last name?
Larry.
Okay, so it's not just me. Good to know.
I speak French, so yeah.
So, my boy Travi, how's that? What is your biggest expense? Where do you lose the most amount of profit? How do you combat that? All right, it's a great question, because we all want to make money, but there are times, like we share our duds. There are times you mess up. So let me get Nadine all set up here.
Yes.
And you are off and running.
Okay, so my two expenses that have gotten me are free shipping on items that I really I should have calculated the weight better, and I made a mistake. Like it weighs 3 pounds, going to go at 3 pound rate to California, and I calculated at the 2-pound rate and not making any profit. So to combat that, I do look through my listings and make sure that anything that I have free shipping on, that it's a realistic free shipping, because I've run into a few that are not. So that's a big loss. And the other one is duds, and in my inventory, things that I've made mistake buys on, and they sit, and you're paying for them every month, and you end up redonating them, you pay the original price. That's also a waste of time and resources and money. So I am much more selective now when I shop at the thrift stores. I know what items I've bought before that have been duds, and I avoid those items now. And I'm just much more picky. Even if I can get an item for $1, but if it's going to be a dud, I don't buy it. I don't care if it's $1. It's not going to sell. So.
Good job. All right, reset, and here we go. Where I lose money is my storage unit, and you're like, what?
Oh.
I have too much stuff. And my wife, right now, my wife's downstairs going, yes, he does. I have 2 storage units. They're 10 by 10. They're next door to each other. One is full of product. One is full of like shipping materials and the like. But I do have a new assistant. We're starting to get a lot of stuff listed, so I hope to start to catch up, because I really don't go out thrifting on a normal basis like I used to. So I'm losing money because I'm spending too much money on storage for all the cool stuff I have that could and should be making me money. So yeah, and we all have this problem. We get ahead of ourselves. Like, it's fun, man. It is fun to shop and treasure hunt. It is not so fun to take pictures and lists, but then it is fun to make money. So you've got to get through the non-fun part to get to the fun part. So get your stuff listed, get some help, even if it's 1 or 2 days a week. If you get somebody to take pictures for you, you'll really work out in the long run for you, because that's a lot of the bulk of your work is pictures, and that's where you need the help.
Okay, good.
I hit the button, it didn't go. What the heck? What the heck?
You were on time, though.
All right, and then our last segment of the day, then we'll do a little bit of business, and then we'll get Joe in here. Is... Thrift up your life. Now, when you're out thrifting, don't forget to thrift for yourself, because a lot of times you'll see things that you can use in your life, whether it be something fun or something functional. Now, mine is to remember to just look at everything. So where I bought that bitchin' $10 big gay quilt, I think they were couponers, because here's the other 3 things we bought. I found unopened right guard, the one I like. There we go, $1.
Well, there you go. That saved money.
My wife got the Curl Renew, $1 from the Fructis. That's what she likes. And we grill a lot. I did not have a meat thermometer, $1. So while I was buying something that's going to make me a lot of money, I kept my eyes attuned to the things that we could use, because they had a few other type of things like this. But my deodorant, my wife's curl thing, we needed a meat thermometer. $3, 3 things I need.
Cool. Mine is actually something that one of our viewers, our wonderful viewers, Tom, sent me. And I want to thank Tom, because he sent me some inventory as well. And our viewer, Laura, sent me some inventory. And to everyone who has sent me anything, I want to say thank you. I'm getting my thank yous out as I can, but I have received everything, and it really means a lot to me. Anne has sent me some items as well that are amazing. So Tom included in his box of inventory this awesome Eagles Philly shirt. And it's a breast cancer shirt. You can see the breast cancer ribbon there. It fits me perfect. And on the back of it, it says Eagles. And it's just, and I'm not usually one to wear sports jerseys, but I absolutely love this. It fits me great. And he put a note in there. I'm assuming you're going to want to keep this. And, you know, and I'm not selling it. I love it. So thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate this. It's awesome. And actually, I wanted to say one more thing, which is kind of a little off of this topic. I was going to show it in my breast cancer segment. So Michelle from our group sent me this book. It's all pages that are just turned. They're all just bent. And it seems like a lot of work. And they make the breast cancer ribbon. And it's
very cool.
Yeah, so it's a really cool piece. So thank you, Michelle, for that.
Very cool. All right, before we get Joe in here, because that was our last segment of the day, we got to go over a couple things. Nadine is going to be a guest. This is on Margaret Collier's channel, right?
Yes. It's going to be in her International League of Thrifters group and on her channel. But
if you're on the group, you can still watch it, right? Because it's going to be on her channel. And I think Margaret's doing that right now. And Margaret on YouTube is known as Texas Gal Treasures.
Mhm.
So Nay, Margaret, Tanya, and who's the other girl? I forget her name. I do apologize.
No. I can. It's Caroline.
Thank you. They're going to be talking linens. Now, I don't find linens all that exciting, but hey, I bought a quilt this week, so I'm tiptoeing out of my niche into other niches, and I bought yarn. So I'm tuning in this Friday. So tune in this Friday, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. East Coast, which makes it, I have no idea, 10 o'clock my time, West Coast. Thank you.
I think so.
Yep. All right. So that is one piece of business, and our second piece of business is I'm going on tour starting next week. We call it Thrifty-Palooza.
Mm-hmm.
So here is my tour. We start in Philly on June 4th, and then also, that should say June 4th and 5th, actually.
Well, June 3rd, 4th
Or
and
is it
5th.
June 3rd and 4th?
3rd and 4th.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then on to Pittsburgh for the 6th, Cleveland the 8th, Detroit the 10th, and Port Huron the 9th and 11th. So we have we'll talk about what we're doing in Philly first. We have a sold-out Philly class on the 4th. The Cleveland class on the 8th is sold out. There are 2 spots left in the Pittsburgh thrifting class with me,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a couple spots left in the Detroit class on the 10th. And then in Port Huron on the night of the 9th, I'm giving a speech on how to have the most kick-ass garage sale you've ever had and make the most money. And then on the 11th in Port Huron is the big community garage sale, 15,000 square feet of garage sale goodies. So come up and hear me speak, or come up and shop, or come take a class. If you want any information from that, you can find it on my Thrift Hunters fan page on Facebook, or just drop me an email or hit me up on Facebook. My email is tikipug@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to put you in the right direction. But where the Thrifty-Palooza starts is our 1 year. Woo!
Hey, 1 year, yes.
Thrifty business with Jay and
Oh my
Nick.
goodness, yes.
And
And
so-
1 year ago, I was vocal about, that was when I first was diagnosed, and I came out about my breast cancer diagnosis when Jay was in Philly. He flew here to be next to me so that I could give the news. So that was a whole year ago.
Yep, it's been 1 year of Thrifty business. We've had 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
And so write this down in your notebooks, put it in your calendars. Next week, our show is not till Friday. Is at 1 p.m. East Coast time. We're coming to you live from Philly H Thrift, the best thrift store in the country. We're going to have a live studio audience of all our friends and fans and family members. We're going to be hanging out with us. So make sure you tune in. If you're in the area, we might have a few spots left. So if you're in Philly and want to come to the show, hit us up. We're more than happy to add you. You don't have to donate, but we are asking for a $20 donation from everyone in the audience, because Philly AIDS Thrift does a lot of good work, specifically in the gay community. Anyone who has AIDS, they give free AIDS testing. They raise a lot of money. But more awesome is they have the most bitchin' thrift store. So come on down, thrift first, be in the studio audience, and then there's a bar across the street called Fat Tuesdays that has a patio. We're all going to go sit outside and have a nice frozen rum cocktail. So come on down.
It'll be fun.
It will be awesome.
Yes.
All right, so that's all the news. So don't forget, we won't see you again until next Friday. So it'll be the longest break between our shows ever. But next Friday we'll be live. So
And then I will assume the next week I have my surgery and you're on the road, so I'll assume that.
Yeah, so we'll let you know. But next week
Probably.
is Friday. It'll be a great show. We're raising money. We're doing good, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a lot of guests. And the most important thing is we tested my iPad the other day. It works perfectly with this show. So we're gonna go live through the store. So part of that show is gonna be going through the store and showing you why it's the coolest store in the country. Part of it has to do with the tags they put on their clothes. So you'll see that, but we're going to show you all the sections. They got this great dollar section that Nay and I both love. So tune in. It's going to be awesome. It might be longer than an hour, but it'll be a cool show. But we won't bore you, I promise.
Oh no, it's going to be exciting.
All right, let's get our guests in here. It is Hubcap Joe DeMarco. What's happening, Joe? Let's see if we can pop right back in here. There's Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, how we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hanging in there. It finally stopped raining, and
I know, it's been
raining. It's gorgeous here.
It's been raining, sun, rain, sun. Yeah.
It's like cloudy every day of the week. This whole month of May.
It gets depressing. It really does. It kind of gets into your
your psyche.
It does. It's been tough. Yeah, it's been a tough month.
And that's why I don't live in the Midwest or East Coast anymore.
I get it. I get it now, because, yeah.
So before we get really into it, Joe, let's see your shirt.
Oh, yes, I came in uniform tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we have these awesome shirts for sale. Being Thrifty is our business, and that's just not me and A, that's all of us. Being Thrifty is our business, so you want to show some support for our show, you can buy that on Amazon. I think I have the link down below. Let me check. Oh, I will put the link down below. But come on over to Amazon, find our Thrifty Business shirt, support the show. That'd be great. And I've known Joe for a long time, and he's known Joe for a little bit less. But Joe sells hubcaps, hence the name Hubcap Joe. And so why don't we jump us off here, Joe, and tell us why hubcaps or how hubcaps? Like, people tend to know my tikis and my music obsession, but
my women's clothing.
And,
yeah.
Those kind of fit. But were you trolling ditches for hubcaps? How'd you get into it, brother?
Well, Jason, my story is really unusual, how I started with doing hubcaps. I was 5 years old, and I was walking in the Bronx, New York with my aunt. We were heading to the supermarket that was located under the L. So as we're walking, this Pontiac comes clattering by us. I turn to look at it, and the left front hubcap comes flying off. And it rolls right up the sidewalk, right to where we're walking. So the guy slows his car up, and he backs up, and I looked at the car, and he's already missing 2 on the right side, and number 3 is laying by my feet, and he wouldn't get out of the car. He looked around, he didn't see it, so he drives away. So I said to my aunt, I said, on the way home, I'm going to take this back to the apartment. And sure enough, it was still laying there, so I took it back to the apartment, and I started, right at that moment, just collecting them for the hell of it. They were all over the city. You know?
All right.
And that's how I started building up the collection. And then in middle school, you know, kids on my block maybe would lose a hubcap from their parents would lose a hubcap and they'd ask me for one. And then in high school, it got a little bigger, but I went to a kind of preppy high school, and I didn't want it to get out that I was like a hubcap guy and searching the side of the road. Those kids would break my balls. In middle school, I was considered cool doing it, but in high school, not so much. But still, some people found out anyhow. And one day they brought in a run-over old Chevy hubcap, and they put it on the teacher's desk to make it look like I did it. But anyway, that's how I started collecting them.
That's cool.
And Joe, I feel you. Like and I've talked about this in other places, and I think here on the show. You know, I garage sailed my whole life since I was 6, and I never really told my friends back then because, man, it wasn't cool. It was the 80s. We were all rocking out to hair metal and, oh, my picture's falling down.
Yes.
Hair metal and, you know, Flock of Seagulls. So to say I'm going garage sailing, that just wasn't a cool thing. You know, you definitely didn't go thrifting. And so I totally get it. Nowadays it's cool. Back then it wasn't cool.
Sure.
And then how'd you get from, like, hey, this hubcap rolled past me to, hey, I'm going to sell and make a living off of it?
Well, I started out slowly, just selling to, you know, parents on my block and friends of friends. And it so happened there was a local junkyard in my area. And I was about maybe 10 or 11 years old. And they have a policy in junkyards of no kids are allowed. But I was the only kid that was allowed in the junkyard. I really had an interest in cars, and they could see that. So they let me hang out and observe and mingle with customers. Then I started actually working there part-time, selling parts. And then that grew into an actual full-time job where I was the guy that bought the junk cars. I was the car buyer. And I also started selling hubcaps there and doing pretty damn good at it. And then I decided, you know, I better get my own place because the junkyard was going to be closed down by the EPA because of pollution.
Oh.
You know, New Jersey and pollution, how that is.
Yes, I do. I grew up in Jersey.
Exactly. So they decided they were going to close it down. And I found a little store, where I am now in Oradell, New Jersey. And I opened that in '94. And in '94, there was no such thing as eBay yet. So my sales were 100% walk-in. And I joined eBay in, I guess, '99. And that's when my eBay career took off.
Awesome. So you've been at it for quite a while.
Indeed.
Yes.
The audience is bummed that there's not like a wall of hubcaps behind you.
Oh.
Well, if they would have seen me earlier today, they would have seen that, Jason.
Yeah, when I talked to him at his office,
yeah.
that's a hubcap.
If you were in your office.
That wouldn't fly here at my house.
No, you'd have to be in your office.
Why do we keep getting this echo? Hello? Oh, it stopped. Did it stop?
I think so. Yes.
Right. By the way, when we had these technical difficulties, shoot, it ain't us. All right, I'm muting Joe, and they didn't keep talking.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh. Echo. I don't know why we've been having these echoes, but they are beyond our control. So.
Did you hear an echo?
Yes, I did. I think we're okay. No, we're not okay.
I don't hear any echo on my end.
You don't on your end?
No.
I can hear it with me. And are you good, Joe?
We got to blame Google on this.
Yeah, it's crazy. We had it last week too, and it's really not anything that we're doing or not doing. It's just out of our control. So.
I'm surprised because you're crystal clear. So is Jason. Yeah. I have no echo whatsoever.
I think we're good right now. So, how did you build your eBay business?
Well, back in '99 when I started, eBay was just a little something I did on the side. I would list maybe 10 items a week, and back then I was listing in the auction format. But as sales grew, I noticed something. I noticed people don't want to wait 7 days for the auction to end. They want to buy it now. So I started doing a lot of fixed price listings back in around 2005, and then in around maybe 2010 or 11 or even 12, I switched to 100% fixed price listings with immediate payment required, so people could just jump right in, do a buy it now. And I'm telling you, that has helped a lot with sales. People like the fixed price format.
Hey Joe, are your headphones plugged in?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Why would it echo? Where'd you find your hubcap? Somebody's asking like they've never seen them in a thrift store.
No, you don't. I wish you did, or I'd stop going to them. I go to a lot of junkyards, and since I figured you'd ask this question, I have a picture here I'm going to show you. Because I go I try and go once a week. If I can't, I go maybe every 2 weeks, see what I can get. Here's a picture. Can they see it?
Oh yeah.
Can you see that?
Yep.
I went on Monday to a junkyard, and junkyards don't allow civilians to walk in the yard, only dealers. So they save all the hubcaps for me. So when I'll go there, I'll pick out all the ones I want, and I'll pile them up in the front, and then they'll count me out, and I'll pay by the load. And it's unusual because they have a guy that goes there and buys nothing but taillights, and they have a guy that buys nothing but used tires. So everybody seems to have their own niche.
All right, so that's a great point because that's what we're talking about, niche. So you go and your hubcap guy, there's tail light
guys.
There's windshield wiper dude. There's a gas cap guy, and you guys all kind of get along because y'all got your niche, and that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. Really hone your niche. Like I know Tiki Mugs inside and out. I know CD's inside and out. Nadine knows women's clothes like I wouldn't believe. And Joe's got his hubcaps. And Joe's the man. Like Joe, so you see a hubcap, do you know instantly what it is?
Oh yeah. If I'm driving on the highway and let's say there's a hubcap laying on the side of the road upside down, I can be doing 60 miles an hour and I'll know exactly what that thing is. I mean, I know just about every hubcap there is.
Okay, are you ever stumped?
Yes. Sometimes with some of the older ones, I'm a little stumped, but every now and then, I'll just double check on eBay and see if anybody has anything that's similar, and they have it listed, and I'll just get the information that way. But it doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, I would say that's the same for me with tiki mugs. It's very rare that I'm stumped, but I have the resources, like I'm sure you do. I have the books, I have the websites, I know where to go.
Yeah, same thing with me with the women's clothing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have something called a Hollander book. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Oh, yeah.
See? It lists all the hubcaps, the part numbers, what they cost when they were new, because eBay is very particular on part numbers. They like you to add in the manufacturer's part numbers now. So I have everything at my disposal.
Yeah.
So somebody asked me to test you. I don't know shit about hubcaps. How can I test them? I mean, what would I say? Like, I've never bought or sold or looked at a hubcap in my life. I would love to put Joe to the test, but I guess I should have thought this ahead of time. I wouldn't know what to do. Like flash a hubcap and put it back down?
Well, we can go through some of his scores and duds.
Yeah, let's go through some of your scores.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and actually, so we're talking about niches, and Joe, like me, like Nate, like everyone on the thrifting board, they learn stuff outside their niche because, hey, once you conquer your niche, if you're hanging around, you're like, I got to go buy something else.
Absolutely.
So I see Joe's first score, and that has nothing to do with his niche, does it, Joe?
Right.
All right, so let me show Joe's first score because
this is cool.
So far from your niche. Hey, a cassette tape.
Yes. Like every kid back in the late 70s or even 1980, I had a crazy crush on Olivia Newton-John. Any music she sang, I had to have. And I would go out and buy 2 or 3 copies of the cassette. Just so if one broke, I'd have a backup to put right into the car. So that particular cassette has been in my drawer since 1983, approximately. And I just unearthed it recently. And Jason had come to New York City a few months ago and gave a talk at one of our meetups. And he gave a presentation, and he explained how people down south that work on farms only have these old beat-up pickup trucks that only have a cassette player. Therefore, there's a demand for CDs. And I would never have thought of that.
Yep.
So I said, I'm listing that Olivia Newton-John cassette. So,
yep.
$20. I mean, that's just a $20 for a cassette in 2016. That's nutty, Nadine.
It is, and I had a Saturn. Had I not have my children and needed a larger car, and then another larger car when I hit the third one, I might have still been in my Saturn. I mean, it was comfy. It was a nice car. It had a cassette player in it, so I bought cassettes. So there are still people that have those cars that.
And I have a house with a intercom system throughout the house, and it's got a cassette deck built into it. So I find cool stuff, and when we have guests staying here, I'll throw out some Hawaiian music, and it plays throughout the whole house. I mean, it's not quality speakers, but any room you go into, you hear it. So it's kind of cool. All right, so we've shown not your niche. So here's your niche: 2 Cadillac Seville Eldorado wire wheel center hubcaps. Oops, that's probably show.
Yes.
There we go.
What's unique about those is those will go on aftermarket wheels, not even the factory caddy rims. But back in the day, in the mid-'80s, there was a company called Vogue that made these cheesy aftermarket wire wheels. But everybody wanted those things, and I never understood why. A set of those wheels cost $2,000 in the day. And these people, they were buying these brand new Eldorados that came with nice wheels or nice hubcaps. They would take them off, discard them, and put those things on. So I went to the junkyard last week, and there was a car that had 2 of them on. And they're not even in the best of shape.
No, I mean, I was just about to say, look at this one.
One's
got they're all dinged up and
One's got a crack, and one's losing the chrome. So I listed them, I believe, there for $50. they sold within a matter of hours to another hubcap guy who I know, who's going to in turn add money on and resell them.
Ah, okay.
What'd you pay for them, Joe? Did you say that? Did I miss it?
No, I said I sold them for $50, but I had bought them in a lot.
Oh.
You know, as a group.
And that's, I mean, if you, and that's a great tip. If you know your niche and you can buy lots, you know, I talked about selling, you know, $3, $4 CDs, but I bought a lot and I paid $0.25 for them. So a $4 CD is not this like, woo, $4, but if you turn all your quarters into $4 and you can do that 100 times, that's making money.
Sure is.
Yeah, and you don't mind selling to another reseller that's going to make more of a profit because you made a profit. No, exactly. You made a profit, so power to him, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, Joe, what's the most expensive hubcap you've ever sold? Somebody's asking in the chat. Henry's asking.
Well, the most expensive I would have to say is a Rolls Royce, hands down. And it was not on eBay, I don't think. It was a Rolls Royce I had sold to a local customer. Well, actually, he lived in Florida, but he drove up. He was on vacation. And I had the right one, exact match, exact color, exact pinstripe. So it was definitely a Rolls Royce.
And you remember what it sold for?
I do, and I can tell you approximately when it was. It was approximately between the years of 92, 93, and it went for $250.
For one hubcap, wow.
For one hubcap. Now, look, I don't think everyone's going to run and buy hubcaps, but it shows you if you conquer your niche. And I like the fact that you sold to another reseller and you don't care. You made your money,
exactly.
he'll make his.
Yeah, there's no competition there. Like, hey, you made your money, you got a profit, then power to them to get a profit. Yeah.
I will tell you this, Joe, and everyone listening. I sell to a company in New York, upstate New York. They're buyers on Amazon. I list CDs. They buy, and I think what I figured out over the years is they buy for customers. So they're hunting for things. So they're going to buy for me, and they're going to charge their customers a premium. And I find a lot of out of print and rare stuff. And it doesn't bother me. They're one of my best customers. So I bought for $0.25, sold for 20. They bought for 20, and they'll sell for 40. I don't care.
No.
I've made a great profit.
Yeah, you made a profit.
They've got a different customer database than I have. Yeah. I'm all good with that.
Yeah. Yep. Power to them, exactly.
All right, and then this is what is it? What's going on here, Joe?
Okay, this is an idea. This is an idea I would never have had on my own. But in Jason's group, the thrifting board, a lady had written in a while back that she sold a big lot of, I think it was 400 plastic soft drink caps or detergent caps. It was just a lot of 400, whatever, for like $40. And I said, oh my God, I never would have thought of that. So I started saving the soft drink and detergent caps, and I just listed that the other day.
Cool. Yeah, you never know, and that's awesome that you found it from our group. So you've gone from hubcaps to bottle caps.
I keep it in the cap family.
Joe's all about the caps.
Yes.
Hey,
that's pretty cool. That's cool though, because that's something that essentially you would have just recycled or threw away, and yeah.
But see now, not that I did know this, but if I ever roll across a hubcap, I'm sending Joe a picture, and that's what we talked about in the show. Both May and I talked about. Get your Rolodex robust.
Oh, yeah.
And because I know if Joe sees that picture, he'll absolutely answer me, just like I'll answer about tikis, Nadine will answer about women's clothes, and you never know when I'm going to find that holy grail of. So Joe, what is a holy grail of a hubcap? What's like an expensive, like, oh my God, I don't believe they sold for that much kind of hubcap? Or what are you hunting for? What's your holy grail?
Well, you know what it is? Most hubcap dealers like the same things. For instance, I check periodically on eBay for Rolls-Royce hubcaps to see what they're going for. And I try and buy them when I can, and then I resell them and I flip them. It's not unusual for me to buy an item on eBay, let's just say for $50, and then resell it for $100, all right? But the catch is you got to be careful. You have to know that it's going to sell, and which I do know what's going to sell. And you have to be careful that the hubcap has good integrity and the clips on the back are not broken. Because a lot of times you have ham and eggers, people who are not in the business selling hubcaps that are broken because they don't know they're broken. They don't know about cars, and they're selling hubcaps that look good, but the backings are totally corrupted or broken. And I've had that happen where I got some that were broken. So just be careful.
So it's the clips on the back that are the issue?
Especially on the newer plastic ones.
Okay.
They break very easily.
Wow. Yeah. The older ones are probably, like everything else, assembled better.
Yeah, they're metal.
Yeah. Yep. So, do the vintage spinner hubcaps still make money? That's from the chat.
Spinners.
Well, believe it or not, some of them are in demand.
Get out, really?
Really?
I'm actually shocked by that.
Well, the old-fashioned ones, like the old Chevys, Chevy is a popular brand, one of the best GM sellers there is, as opposed to, let's say, a Pontiac, which is a bit of a dog. Chevy stuff will usually sell, whereas Pontiac, don't waste your time with it.
So if you do get those vintage spinner hubcaps, will you sell them as a set of 4, or were you list individually?
No, it's usually better to sell them as a set of 4.
Okay.
Somebody who's restoring their car, because most of my hubcaps, I'm here on the East Coast. I'm not kidding you. Everything I sell goes all the way out to either California.
I know. I'm
Down
the same way here. I'm the same way here. It's like always.
Right? Nobody in the Northeast wants anything. Everybody out west has their wallet.
I totally agree. Most of my stuff goes to like the West Coast, and yeah.
We ought to open up a branch out there.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I agree.
Music operations now selling hubcaps. Hey, Joe, will you, if you see a hubcap on the side of the road, will you just screech to a halt and drive off and then run out and get it?
I wouldn't screech to a halt. I'd slow down and get it if it was a hobby.
All right, so hey, I realized we didn't get to one of your scores because here's a Rolls Royce hubcap.
Wow, that's a good. So that's sold for 100.
Right, that one's unusual because that goes on a newer Rolls Royce, the kind that has the chrome wheels. And those cars with chrome wheels, not just the Rolls, but any car, they're nothing but trouble. They're a headache. And the caps in the middle, like that one, they tend to come off quite easily. What happened with that one, I don't know if you're going to get the picture back up or not, but there's a little chip on the edge of it because the guy had hit the curb. See the chip there?
Yep.
So the guy had hit the curb and damaged his rim and his cap. And he went to a body shop, and the insurance company paid for new parts. So the body shop had that cap and some other ones. And he asked me if I wanted to buy them. So I did. So I took that cap, and I stuffed it in a milk crate or in a box, and I forgot about it for like 6 months. So I just took it out the other day, and I listed it, and it sold within 1 day.
Wow.
Even with the damage.
Wow.
With damage, $100.
That's awesome.
All right, Joe. Now, everything ain't all sunshine and roses, as with any niche. So, as usual, you sent us some duds. We all have our duds. So we went from a $100 Rolls Royce to, let's look at these little plastic thingies.
Right. Those are those cheapy aftermarket ones that you see like in Walmart and Caldor.
Okay.
You know, in fact, you see quite a few of them on eBay. The China sellers really blast eBay Motors with those aftermarket things. But those I put up because they're white. And every now and then I'll get somebody saying, do you have any white hubcaps or do you have any black hubcaps? And there's really nothing wrong with them except for the fact that there's only 3.
Yeah, that odd 3-wheel Pontiac.
I just hate to throw them out. I hate throwing things out. And if somebody offered me less money, I would even take it.
Yeah.
And hey, Nate, here's what I'll say about Joe's picture on this one. We are always telling people, get your shit off the floor on the ground, don't take pictures. But hubcaps on the asphalt, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Actually.
It's the one
it works.
product that looks good.
It works because, they That's what they're designed to be on. So there you go.
Absolutely. So yeah, get your Hawaiian shirts off the ground. Put your hubcaps on the ground.
Yeah, I can. That's the one. I think that's the one item that we can say is okay.
And speaking of crappy Pontiac stuff.
Yeah. When's the last time you guys saw a Pontiac 6000 or Phoenix running around?
Forever.
I don't remember those cars at all. So
those were X-body cars that GM came out with back in the 80s. And they were good for about 50,000 miles max. And even back then, nobody fixed them. If the hubcaps came off, they left them off. If the taillight got cracked, it stayed cracked. Mirrors were hanging off. It was a disposable car of the day.
So how was that a dud then? I guess because of the fact that...
Because it's been listed forever.
Okay. Wow. So somebody finally decided that they actually wanted to fix theirs.
No, it's still for sale. So if you have a 1981, 82, or 83 Pontiac 6000...
Oh, it's still for sale. It didn't sell.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Joe's got you covered.
Okay.
And then your last dud, Ford Fairmont Granada.
Granada. My parents had a Granada back in the day. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Those are just basic hubcaps. Nothing wrong with them, but they're not flashy. Most people like the flashier ones with the blue logo,
the
larger spokes. But those are like a grandma's car, and I just can't sell them.
Somebody's going to come along with that Granada, but yeah, that's tough.
But will you still keep buying them, Joe? You know, even though they're kind of duds, but you know, there's going to be, like Nate just said, there's going to be that Granada owner who needs 4 new ones.
Yeah, certain ones I'll buy, but I wouldn't be buying any Phoenix hubcaps anytime soon.
Okay.
Somebody back in the chat asked about Lambo and Bugattis. I'm like, yeah, they don't have hubcaps.
They've got alloy rims.
Yeah. So, is it just hubcaps, or do you ever gotten into rims? Speaking of,
I tried it, but the problem is people don't want to spend the money, especially my local customers. They absolutely don't. Call me, and they'd say, "Do you have an alloy rim for, let's just say, the Lexus?" And I'd say, "Well, I can get you one for $100, which is dirt cheap." And they'd say, "I'm not spending $100. I found it for $50." And I said, "Well, why are you calling me?" And they said, "I'm going to spend $50."
Hey, why are you calling me? Oh,
yeah, they don't want to spend $50.
So how are they finding it for $50?
Beats me.
Wow.
Beats me.
You should quiz them.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right when you're getting your items at bottom dollar and.
Exactly.
Unless they're trying to get a deal, you know. But.
Could be.
Shit, what was I just gonna ask?
Somebody asked you buy wheels too.
Well, that's what we were just talking about, the wheels.
Yeah. Okay.
Wheels are heavy to ship.
Oh, that's what you're talking about with the rims.
Oh, I know what I was gonna ask. Okay. So, over your career, how many do you think you've sold? And I don't mean to the item, but you know, a roundabout figure.
How many hubcaps?
Yeah.
I've sold a lot. I would not be surprised if I've sold 100,000 hubcaps.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy.
That is a lot of hubcaps.
Been doing it a long time.
And you don't collect them like I collect tiki mugs, so it's a little bit of a different niche because what my niche is, I also collect. But all these years in, do you still get excited when you find certain hubcaps?
I get really excited when I find like a brand new hubcap that I've never had before, like from a 2016 car. I'll scream when I pull over to get it. Really, I'll scream out loud, "Baby!"
Yeah, it's like the whole year. So somebody asked, do you only source at junkyards? Obviously, you source on the side of the road sometimes too, but...
My favorite place to source is from dealerships because I used to have a deal with a guy down south. I would buy 200 sets at a time, brand new, and he'd put them on skids, load them on the back of an 18-wheeler, and he'd truck them up to me. Wow. And the catch was he'd give me a break on the price, but he wanted a check right then and there for the full 200 sets. But I didn't mind doing that because I can keep those hubcaps for 5 or 10 years. They never go bad. So those are my favorite kind of sourcing deals. Is when I can get overstocks brand new.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a good, you know, your niche, and my niche too, for that matter, never goes bad. But you know, if you've got a 1967 Rolls Royce and your hubcap flies off,
you gotta get one.
Other than driving with only 3 hubcaps, you got to buy a hubcap. So Joe's your man.
And I can't see a Rolls Royce owner just accepting a blowed off hubcap and just driving around like that. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And so, Joe, you've conquered your niche. You maximize your niche, and then you've got the plastic caps listed, tried the cassettes, and what percentage? What percentage do you think you have now listed that isn't hubcaps?
Well, I have some other things listed. One of them is one of your niches. I have T-shirts listed, but I haven't sold many of them. Maybe because I'm asking too much. I don't know. I sold my WWE shirts. A few of them sold, but I couldn't sell my old rock concert T-shirts like Poison, Metallica, Meatloaf, all the bands from the mid-'90s. They just don't move. I also sell license plates because I'm also a collector of license plates, mainly vintage.
Now, do you have those hanging up?
Not here.
This office, yeah.
But you do at the shop, though, right?
Yes, I have a lot of nice stuff hanging up at work.
And do you ever? So you collect them too. So like me, do you ever go in your collection and go, "Nah, that's time for that one to go, and it's worth a ton of money"?
I do. I don't like to do that, but I list them sometimes, like some of my old assembly plates or my Senate plates from the 70s. They're in demand. And I have one that says, "My Way 2." I was offered $200 for that plate because it came off Frank Sinatra's car.
Oh.
My Way 2. Okay.
How'd you know it came off of Frank Sinatra's car?
It didn't. I'm just saying that.
Okay. You're full of that.
It was used at Bugsy's robbery of the Valentine's Day massacre. I was on his car.
Oh my goodness.
I had a guy that was opening a Frank Sinatra themed bar, and he came in to buy a hubcap, and he saw that plate, and he offered me $200 for it. And I should have taken it.
Ah, damn.
Yeah. That was a good deal there.
Yeah.
Is it Joe's Hubcaps on eBay?
No, it's Hubcap Joe's.
Hubcap Joe's. Sorry, I went the backwards.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like I had dyslexia right there.
Tom got it right. Tom got it right in there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so people were asking in the chat, but if you go back and look, every time we showed Joe's stuff, you'll see his name. Hubcap Joe's. Easy peasy.
Yes. So
if
you need hubcaps, somebody in there said that they needed one for their 1980s van. I don't know. It was way up in the chat.
Well, hit Joe up. He'll
definitely. I'm sure he'll be able to track it down if he doesn't have it and give you a good deal for it. Yeah.
All right, let's end on this question, Joe. D from the chat wants to know, what's the most expensive item you have listed right now?
I have a set of new old stock wire Toronado hubcaps with locks, key, and everything from, let's say, a 1985 Toronado. New old stock means they're brand new and never used, and they were manufactured back in 1985. And I think I'm asking approximately $900.
Wow.
Now, if somebody offers me $850, they're getting them.
Oh, yeah.
So you heard here first. If you got $850 and you need those, Joe's taking it from you.
Yeah.
Hey, but I know we're going to end on that, but that made me think of a question. So let me ask you this, because you have a niche that could be affected by pop culture. So when the movies like Fast and the Furious come out and they're profiling specific cars, do people start jonesing, go look for those cars, then need the hubcaps?
The only time I can remember that happening was one of the movies, and I forgot which one it was, that had those spinner bling hubcaps, the ones that kept spinning.
Yeah.
You know, then I had a few people coming in, they wanted to have those things on their car, but that's the only time I can remember that.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure because like we talk about when someone famous dies, it ups their rate, payment, what stuff will sell for. But I thought maybe you see Vin Diesel jump a car and it wrecks, and somebody's like, "Oh, I need to get that car. Oh, I need the hubcaps. Oh, Joe's got hubcaps."
You said Vin Diesel.
I know. Nadine likes 2 celebrities, and I ain't one of them. She likes Vin Diesel and Betty White, so I figured I'd throw a little Vin Diesel action out there.
Yeah, I heard that.
I know you would.
Yeah, my ears perked up to that, I guess.
All right, and tonight, we will end on this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. They're,
Cat nap corner. Which cat is on Nate's steps?
Duck, you would see.
Yeah, hang on. Is it Milo? Could it be Phoebe? Is it my boy Half Pint? Let's see. Now, lean over again. Oh, gosh, we got a threesome. We never see the three-peat. Are you kidding me?
We have all 3.
Oh, my God. This is write this date down in the record books, people. Well, I have never seen all 3 in the show. That's crazy. And
yeah.
Half Pint's thinking right now, should I bolt? Yeah, Milo's in a coma, and Phoebe's like, let me go, please.
Yeah, she wants to go. Yep, you're right. Down she goes.
Oh, that is awesome. We got to see all 3 tonight.
Behind me. Yeah, that never happens.
That's
and
awesome.
He's usually the one that doesn't like to be in the show. He will come out right after we're done airing. Usually we turn
the show off. He walks by him.
Oh yeah, he comes right out. Yeah, so this is unusual.
The chat is saying the cats want some hubcap knowledge. That's why they're all there tonight.
Maybe so.
Joe, you're like the cat whisperer.
Yeah, that was amazing. We had all 3. That never ever happens. Yes.
Oh, instead of a hat trick, a cat trick. I love it. We're ending on that cat trick. I love it. All right. Yeah. I want to thank Joe. Joe, dude, you're an awesome guest. I hope to see you next week. But if we don't see you next week, we'll definitely see you in July here in Vegas for the big evening event, and we'll have good times. Joe, a lot of parties, so rest up before July, brother.
For sure, man.
We got parties scheduled every night. You ain't even heard most of them yet. We only got one out to the public, but we got all kinds of fun shenanigans besides the event. Yeah, we're going to have a good time. I want to thank Joe for being our guest. I want to thank my mom for giving birth to me.
Well, yeah.
Random thoughts.
Yeah.
And I say that because Mom and I birthed an idea last night. So not only will you enjoy Thrifty Business with J&A, you might enjoy a show starting soon with my mother and me. So stay tuned. That's going to be something fun. And that'll be for your old thrifters out there. And I don't mean Joe old. I mean my mom old.
My mom, too.
So thank you, Nadine, for being my partner as always.
And thank you for being my partner.
Oh, yes. Joe, you're the bomb diggity. I love you, brother. And don't forget, mark your calendar. Our show is next Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Our 1-year anniversary.
Yay!
Let's shoot off some guns. 1-year anniversary.
1 year.
Coming at you live from Philly. Nate and I will be together with 20 of our closest friends and fans. So make sure you tune in next Friday.
Yes. And then we'll let you know our schedule after that.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you, everyone. Make sure you hit thumbs up and subscribe down below. Oh, one last thing is Memorial Day this weekend, so I want to say a big shout out and a thank you to everyone who has ever served in our military, especially if you're watching, especially if you're a fan, and to my dad who was in the Army during Vietnam. Big shout out to my dad. So.
Awesome. Yeah, my dad is a veteran too. He was in the Air Force.
So thank you everyone that has served and who will serve. I salute you. I will not even attempt to actually do a salute because I know I won't do it right. But thank you very much. Thank you. You touch my heart. So have a good evening, everybody. Have a great holiday weekend, and we will see you next Friday.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye-bye.